All right, guys, welcome back to the ND process. So I'm here with Amber today. She's been with us for nearly a year. She's got my full attention, and let's see what we're diving into today. So thank you for joining us on this, Amber. What would you say, you have my attention for the next 30 to 45 minutes, whatever you want to dive into. What is something that you would like to get into today and start to focus on for yourself?
Are we talking like strengthening muscles or
whatever you want? So what's your goal right now? You've been with us for almost a year. You've seen the process. You've gone through it all. What would you like to be able to accomplish? What are you trying to find?
I think I'm trying to focus on my core, strengthening my core. I feel like I've gotten stronger everywhere else.
Okay.
So that's my main focus. I do feel like I have some tension in my hips a little bit.
Okay.
I don't know if that's pregnancy related or
Okay.
not, but it's been a year now, or two.
Yeah, almost 2 years. Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Yeah. So how old is she now?
She's gonna be 2 next month.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So would you say the core work that you're trying to find is still coming back from the pregnancy component that you want to get into?
I think so.
All right.
And
then,
preparing for next baby.
That's right. Is that happening anytime soon?
Possibly.
All right. All right. So let's have some fun with this. Let's get into, we'll dive into some specific core work. How much is the low back and hip area bothering you?
It's not low back. It's like, I don't even know. I would say like my pelvis. So sometimes it's like when I do the world's greatest stretch and I do the twist, I can feel it like in my tailbone.
Okay.
But that's about it. I don't have lower back pain.
Okay, but just into that area. Is it irritating when you feel it? Is it painful when you feel that?
It's like
how would you describe
pinching.
it? A pinching. And is it only on the right or the left or both?
I would say it's more on like when I turn left.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
I'm saying right. I'm saying
I
left.
gotcha. Yep. All right, so let's dive into that today. So I want to take a look at how I would break down her body, see what's happening into that low back area, make sure that her pelvis is aligned in the way that we need it to be aligned, and then from there we'll start doing some core strengthening work, might integrate that into a few exercises as well, and see where she is. So if you've been following us, you know the exercises that we get into from our class setting, and this is something that you do, what, 3-4 times a week now?
Yeah, 3 to 5.
Okay, 3 to 5 times a week, excuse me. But yeah, so she's doing a lot of the exercise components, so being able to zoom in and get hands-on is going to be pretty crucial for us. So let's see what we find.
Yes. And the tricky is the feet.
Rolling? All right. So now I'm going to watch Amber walk here. So we're always taking a look at her gait. So I want to see what's happening when she's doing the most natural fundamental thing we do as human beings, being bipedal creatures, is we walk. So one of the things that I noticed right away is exactly what she was talking about in her hips. And I'm going to have you just keep going a bunch of times. Her hips want to dive out to that left side, back and forth there. And she's a bit of an anteriorly rotated hip, which is where her tailbone's sticking back. Her pelvis is rolling forward just a bit. So if I stop you here and turn to the side. So as you take a look from this side angle here, you can see it a bit more where tailbone's back. And if this was a bowl, the water would be spilling forward a bit. So the goal is to be able to pull that low belly in and tuck underneath. Now, what she did is she used her abdomen here to be able to pull that up, which brought her chest down. So what I want you to be able to focus on is being able to get that low pelvis pulling in as much as possible, and then now raise the chest just a bit. There you go. Hold there. And that's where we're going to get that deep core engagement into that zone 1. Now, when I'm talking zone 1, this is pubic bone to belly button, and that's where we really want to engage. Now, your pelvic floor, you know how to engage the pelvic floor to hold your P muscles? All right, so engage that area, and I'll think of it sometimes like an elevator. Doors close here, elevator rises. All right, and that's how it's really going to get you into this deep core position. And this is something that I want you to focus on throughout all of your movements, even when you're standing, brushing your teeth, you catch yourself in whatever way, you go, oh, let me find this position and bring it right back. Okay? So let's do this again. I'm going to have you walk back and forth. Just keep going. We'll point out a few more things, but that's something that I really want to be able to do, is get you into that position the best as possible, because that's going to help keep that sacrum that you're talking about from being pinched. And it has a lot more space when that hip is tucked underneath versus when that butt is back. And so, yeah, the body's just bailing into your left hip. I'm not sure if you're aware of that as you're walking, but your hips just slide to the left into that left and kind of jams up into that area. So now let me check this here. I'm gonna have you, perfect, stay right there with your toes on the line so everything's even. I'm gonna check out your hip alignment just from a standing position. And so what I'm seeing is the left hip is slightly higher than the right hip here. All right, and then I'm gonna push into your glutes a bit as well. I just wanna see if one's more tense than the other. Right there, fun little spot. Not as bad on this side, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so this left side, this glute, is definitely a little more bound up here. So that would tell me now the front right typically is gonna be a little worse than the front left. And then would you say I'm right?
Yes.
Yes, so how you're stuck right now, back left, front right, this is how your body is finding stability. You move well through your back right, you move well through your front left. You don't move as well through your back left, and you don't move as well through your front right. So when we're doing certain exercises, releases, and mobilizations, I'm gonna wanna work on those areas specifically. And I'm hoping by doing that, that's gonna bring back that alignment, and then we can work on hips underneath, some deep core activation, and keep going from there.
Okay.
All right. Warm-ups, mobilization, stretches. What do you typically do for like a morning routine or a get my body going routine?
I just come here and do the workouts and do the warm-up.
And that works too. So I want to bring some awareness then to, I'd say, some of our exercises that we're doing. I'm betting as we go through our warm-up, there's a compromise somewhere in a few of the exercises. So let's start with going through our warm-up and breaking that down as to what we do every time before class, because this is something great that you can do through any type of activity, so not just class setting. All right, so first thing, let's get our rotations. Get your feet set up how you want them to be. And I want to see what we're looking at. Good. So now what I want you to do is find that neutral hip position. So hold on there, pull that low belly in, tuck those hips underneath. Now do that exercise.
Okay.
A little more movement there?
Yeah.
More free in the back?
Yeah.
Good. What were you going to say?
It's really like it's so weak that it's like really hard for me to hold it. Mm-hmm. So.
And that's going to be it's going to be nonstop. We'll be able to do exercises to help strengthen that specific area, but the more we can do and focus on that, the better it's going to be. And then when we retension your body as well, and that's going to help to be able to get it, because your body's kind of fighting itself. And if you think about where the baby sits, it's going to pull everything forward in that direction, and that's why women have low back pain so often, is they're sitting in that tilted position. The low back is impinged. This area expands. Now we're trying to get it to strengthen back together.
Yeah.
So it's going to take a lot of work, but we got it. All right. So continue on with that. Hit your rotations. Low belly in. Good. That's the key focus that I want you to get into with this exercise.
Okay.
Now go ahead and lock the hips in. Keep the hips from moving. Just move the upper body. Really pull that low belly in again as those hips tuck underneath. And that's when you'll start to feel those slings engage a bit more across the body there.
Yeah, I feel it.
Good. All right, now let's do the same thing, the side to side, the lateral lines. Now I want you to slow this down a bit. So do about half the speed.
Okay.
Good. Now as you get out there, allow your head to drop. So yes, head tilts and then head tilts. Now the reason I asked you to do that is you're guarding or grabbing up here in the shoulder blade. By dropping the head, so as you drop the head here, it puts more tension into the hip. Can you feel how that increases that amount of tension?
Yes.
Good. Then low belly back in. It's going to be a constant reminder, but don't worry, that's it. Good. So just bringing that awareness to these two exercises is going to make a big difference just in what you're feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're going to have to slow things down too. And I know you like to, you get going, you're getting after it, but the warm up or the stretching component, that's where we're really going to have to slow things down.
Okay.
So now let's go into our hinge. Good. And then the slide. Good. Now about half that speed again. All right. Slow. Good. What I want you to focus on, instead of your body coming around, I want you to push back at a diagonal.
Oh, wow. Okay.
There you go. Good. And then as you slide over here, back at a diagonal.
Okay.
Feel that a little more into those, the back side of the legs there?
Yeah.
Is it easier to get into your left side or right side?
I think my left side.
Good. Now try the left side again, but keep the left inside ball of your foot down.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Different, right?
Yeah.
So it was easier to get into your left side because the foot was cheating. The body's a clever cheater. It's going to get to wherever Amber needs to go, but we have to make sure we're getting there that right way. So opening up that left glute by keeping that left big toe down as you drive into it is going to be a crucial movement for you.
Okay.
All right. Now do the one where we tuck, roll the hips underneath, and then we reach up toward the ceiling. Tuck, 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 tuck on up. You can see lift, 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 reach. The last second she starts to roll back this way versus keeping the hips tucked underneath. All right, so that's huge if you're getting any type of low back impingement, pressure, compression. Being able to keep those hips underneath and allow the stomach muscles to expand is going to be crucial. Yes, that's it. Excellent. All right, so let's do that again.
Okay.
Hinge it on down. Good. Low belly in. Stay, stay, stay. Good. That's it. Then come on back. Now, what I want you to try to find is your hips tucking underneath you first before you reach your upper body all the way back there.
Okay.
All right? Let's try it again. Good. Tuck, tuck, tuck. Yes, now reach tall. Chest up here. There you go. That's it. Excellent. All right, back down. Let's see if we can find that position again. You feel that more in the stomach?
Yes, way more.
Yes, and up, chest to the sky. There you go. Good, even better. Now that's going to open everything up here and eccentrically load it. One more. Up, 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 up. Yes, that was it. Excellent, and relax. So the eccentric load, which is where the muscle is stretching at the same time it's having to contract and lengthen, that's one of the best ways to be able to strengthen a muscle. So doing that right there and strengthening the abdomen in that way is going to be crucial. But you got to take your time because you can see how easy the body wants to adjust.
Yeah.
All right, so we did that, and then now let's do a couple of the swinging hinges where we're just back and forth into that position. Same principle is going to apply here. Coming on across. That's it. Good. Good. All right, let's switch on over to the other side.
Okay.
Low belly in, that's it. Good. And so she's moving really well through this as we get into this position. She's taking those principles of the big toe staying down, the hips rolling and tucking underneath, and the chest rising to the sky. Focus on that right here on this one. There, that's it. Good. That low belly pulling in as she does it, and relax. All right, so now let's get into the lunge. So we're going to lunge forward with this. All right. So now, yep, as you're loading into that, low belly stays pulled in toward the body, and you'll feel how the butt doesn't go back as much when that low belly stays in.
Okay.
And then you're going to get more drive out of the heel and the big toe. So you'll notice probably a little more strength. It's like you can push from your stomach all the way down from the floor and back out.
Okay.
Feel that? Mm-hmm. Good. All right, let's try the same thing on the right side. And she knows right away how we're rotating the upper body, which looks great. So we get a little more lat involvement, just like when you were running back and forth. Good. Right big toes staying down on the ground, the inside ball of the foot. That looks great. Last one here. Good. All right, now let's get into the world's greatest stretch.
Okay.
Good. Now head back down for me for a second. What I want you to do is allow your hips to sink down toward the floor. That's it. Feel a little more tension in there. Mm-hmm. Now take your right arm, reach under your left to start here. Good. And then now open on up on that right side. Allow the hips to turn with you. And then the right big toe stays down. Good. As you put a little more pressure on that, you'll feel more into that glute.
Yeah, I do.
All right. Then back over to your left side. Yep. Hips move. Upper body moves. Deep inhale. Good. And then back down. Now I like to use the breath to expand the spine. So as you open up here, that's going to decompress the spine. So you'll be able to rotate easier without there being any compression through that torsion there. Good. Now let's switch over to the other side. So first thing, let the hips sink. Let them find that deep position, kind of cozy on in. You can even take that left arm just inside your left foot, and that lets you, sink on into that position. No pinching on the left. Good? Perfect. So let's take that left hand now, reach under the right. Good. Now this is going to be the interesting one with this glute. Yep. And so you moved all upper body.
Yeah.
All right. I want you to, as you do it again, see if you can let that hip rotate and move a bit with you. There we go. Feel that all down that left glute?
Yes, and it pinches right here.
On that right side.
Right, somewhere, yeah, like right there.
Okay. All right, so now as you do this, let's do that same thing. I want to see if the hips move first. Good. Same pinching? Mm-hmm. All right, keep going. So we're going to have to dive into getting that left pelvis likely open. We'll do the left and the right side. Okay. Couple more? Or that's good there. Nah, don't worry about it. And come on out. All right, so we're going to use that as, I'd say, your baseline of using that the world's greatest stretch and see if we can get rid of that pinching.
Okay.
All right. So to do that first, let's bring you over here to the PowerPlate. Here we go. So now we're going to put her on the PowerPlate. PowerPlate's an excellent way to help the body be able to move with better flexibility. It takes all the mucus in the body, and if you think of the mucus like coconut oil, when it's cold, it's all congealed. Then once it warms up, it becomes this great lubricant. That's what this thing does. All right. So what I'm going to have you do first, go ahead and stand on up here. I'll put this on a low setting, hands on up here, feet back a little bit and a little wider, all right? So you're gonna drive your butt straight back, knees straight, and then bring your hips back forward. So a very simple one there.
Like that.
Yep, just back and forth like that. And take a good deep breath, deep inhale, and then exhale. Now that's a great way to decompress the spine as well. So you can feel the decompression that we'll get here, and then bringing it back up. Now we've done a lot of these movements pretty similar in the warm-up anyways, but might as well get into this. We'll start shifting side to side in a minute on the next one. Then we'll get into opening up that pelvis. And let's try, might even take your feet a little farther backwards. Just the amount of movement that you have. I want to see if this is better or worse. That feel any better or worse on the tension?
I didn't notice the difference.
Oh, worse. All right. So now, same thing. Get back into that same bit. You're going to push backwards first. And then you're going to take those feet a little wider apart. Excellent. Now we're going to slowly slide to the left. Yep. And then we're going to slide to the right. Good. Keep that going. Good deep breath. Side opens for us. This left side here, little more stuck, but bringing that attention there. Good. I like the reach with the left arm. Excellent. Shift back again. Good. And one more over here to the left. Left big toe down. Yes. That's it. Feel that all right?
Yeah.
And relax.
So
All right, let you take a walk down and back and we'll get you set up for the next one. Yeah, already you're getting into the right side a little better there, which looks good. All right, so now let's dive right into that left side. So what we're going to do, left foot's going to come up with this machine. It's going to curve in, which is going to hike your glute a bit. Both hands are going to be over to the right side. I want you to sink into this left and drive straight back here. And we're going for some sort of stretch or tension along the back left. Okay. And your hips are just going to move straight back and then forward. So eyes and chest are going to remain up. Okay. All right. Left foot there. Right foot's going to point toward both hands over here. And then we're going to lean into this left leg. Good. Then drive back here. Excellent. Anything in that left leg?
It's tight.
All right. Perfect then. That's where we want to be. Good. Deep inhale as you go backwards. Exhale as you come forward. And I like to use the breath right here to decompress the spine and find more length in the body. Good. And we're asking the body to be able to move into a position that it probably doesn't like to move in too much, just because it's a little sticky into those areas. That left big toe inside ball of the foot, yep, just a bit. As long as it stays engaged and on the floor, you're going to feel the tension difference into that left glute.
Oh, yeah.
Good. All right, now let's do the same thing again, but we're going to create a little bit of movement left to right. So we're going to hold in that back position. Ready? Same thing. Let's go. Hands on up here.
Oh.
Straight back. Yep, hold there. Now what we're going to do is the belly button's going to go left. Good, and then right. That's it. Good. Left. Yep. And right. And I have to, I don't want to say force, but aggressively guide the hip on this. Yeah. That's it. Here. Good. Last one. Deep inhale. Good. And relax. Come on out of that. And let's let you walk again. I want to see how that looks.
Okay.
Feel like a drunken sailor?
Yeah.
So what's happening right now is we essentially took kind of your training wheels off to a degree. So if your daughter's riding a bike, you got the training wheels down. If you raise them a little bit, this is what's happening. So we've created more space in the body. So now all the sensory nerves are trying to figure out where are our training wheels and where are the balance. And so we'll keep doing that till we get to a spot where we go, all right, now let's reinforce it. Okay. So let's come over here, and instead of getting into the right side right now, I want to get into the left inside adductor.
Okay.
So that left foot's going to be there. I want to tuck and roll the hips underneath. So finding that position where that low belly is pulled in, and you're going to shift or try to slide the hips slightly to the right. Now the body's going to want to bend the knee. It's going to want to rotate to find that position. We're going to keep that from happening, and that way it's really going to focus on that left inside thigh.
Okay.
All right, yep, straight there. So first thing, we're gonna tuck those hips underneath. If anything, the belly button can go a little to the right, excellent. Now from there, we can apply a little pressure right here on the femur so we can drive and then come back, but we can't lose this. That low belly has to stay tucked in. Good. And I want you to think more of the hips sliding, less of the upper body dropping. Good. Allow your head to start to tilt a little to the left. Good. You feeling that left inside thigh? Mm-hmm. All right. Now, if you'd like to apply that pressure, you can do it. There you go. Low belly stays in. Hips stay rolling and tucking underneath. Good. That's it. Less upper body, more lower body slide. That's it. Good. Yeah. Because the body's like, I'll just go here. Just move from this spot. It's hard to move from right there. And when the body's sticky in spots, that's what we want to try to focus on. Good. And relax. All right, let's have you walk. Let's see what that did. Yes, very good. So that got her back over to the right side. I'm not seeing as much of that bail, which is really good there. And the reason I wanted to focus on getting that left glute and then the left inside thigh is those two act as a pulley system. Okay. If one's bound, so is the other. So being able to work those two is crucial. So now let's see if we can get that right front hip flexor and then see what happens. Who knows? Let's have some fun. All right, so we're gonna go here. And just like we did in the warm-up, I want to tuck that hip underneath and just play with that low belly pulling in, tailbone dropping, pubic bone coming up, and then eventually we'll add some shifts, some reaches, all sorts, but let's just get that hip rolling underneath us right now. Like that, and then front down here, and you can pull up with the left, push down with the right to help that drive and be able to feel that little difference. Good. Yep, there, and then ease yourself back. And I want you to think about this movement of it just rocking, the hips rocking back and forth, because if we can get ourselves to move from the hips first, then when we start shifting forward and adding reaches, that's all extra. But this is the key component right here.
Okay.
Good.
I'm flexing my
You can.
glutes.
You can flex the glutes. I wouldn't say it's optimal, but it's not a bad thing to do, especially to help us get there.
Okay.
Eventually, doing this from the transverse abdominis, the pelvic floor, deep core muscles, being able to roll underneath without too much glute or rectus abdominis, six-pack ab activation is going to be the key.
Okay.
But off the start, it's difficult to be able to do, so getting the glute to squeeze and the abs to work a little bit isn't too uncommon. Cheering mommy on?
We're hanging out.
I love it. Good. All right, now what I want you to do is start to take that right arm and reach up into the air. But don't forget what we just did. Okay. There you go. All right. Good. As you come up, that's it. Still feeling that pretty good on that right side? Mm-hmm. Excellent. Now on this next one, freeze up at the top. Good, and we're gonna slide the hips a little to the right, the upper body a little to the left. But I'm more concerned with the slide left than I am the reach right.
Okay.
Good. And now as you're sliding right, I want you to think of it sliding kind of forward and right.
Okay.
Deep breath, open. Good, low belly in at the same time. Yes, I'm asking so many things I know. And then ease yourself back down. And let's get one more in. Good. We're just trying to create space into that area there. Good. And relax. Excellent. Feel that right in that
Yeah.
spot?
Oh, yeah.
Very good. So let's give you a moment. I want you to take a second. Let's have you walk back and forth.
Okay.
And then we're going to dive back into that world's greatest stretch. See if anything's better, same, or worse.
Okay.
And don't worry, it won't hurt my feelings if it's not. I just got to know. We'll see. All right. Okay, so let's do that world's greatest stretch again. And it was
Oh, other side, right?
the other side, correct. Yeah, as that left side's down.
I still feel it, but it's less.
Okay, good. So
For
do the
sure.
same thing now, and let's rotate the hips at the same time as you open up. And let's see if that makes it better, same, or worse.
A little bit better.
Okay. All right, good. So we made small improvements, and we haven't even done anything hands-on.
Yeah.
It was all you. Well, look at you, you're just fixing yourself. Great work. All right, so now let's try the right side flaring up on this, the PowerPlate, and I want to see what that does. Yep, so right foot up here, and then point toward that. Yep, find yourself a comfortable position. Lean into your right knee, so bend here, and then now right glute comes up in the air towards me, and we drive back. That seems pretty tight as well. Good. This is one of my favorite mobilizations. It just allows those hips to be able to open up. Good, deep inhale. Good. You're doing a good job of keeping that right big toe down on the ground, so that way it forces that right glute to have to move versus it being able to cheat from the right foot. And that's why we're barefoot in here as well. You can't cheat when you're barefoot. We'll see it. Good. And relax. All right. Now let's do that same thing, but let's you walk down and back one time to reset.
Right now? Okay.
And we'll get into that same position again, and then we'll rotate from side to side. I feel any different?
Yeah, it kind of does.
Yeah, you're loading into that right side a little better. So it kind of woke it up a little bit. All right, let's see what happens. So let's put the right foot back up there now.
Here?
Yep, same position.
Oh, okay.
Pretty much same exercise. We're just gonna hold in that back side
gotcha.
now. So I'm gonna have you hold over here on this left. It's gonna be a little more comfortable. There you go. So as you sink back here, now we can turn the belly button to the right. Yep, slightly, and then the left. Yep, I got you. That's it.
Okay.
And think hip movement more than upper body movement. So the hip movement is going to drive. There you go. Upper body is all extra. Good. Yeah, because you're flexible and you can move well, but you tend to drive from the upper body versus the hips. And the hips are what we need really moving.
Yeah, they feel really tight.
Good, good. Last couple here. And relax. Very good. So let's have you go for a walk again.
Okay.
Let's see how that feels. Much more even pace. I like that with the hips. Good. How's the body feel overall right now?
It feels good. It feels, I'm still like, it feels shaky from the thing.
Yeah, from the vibration?
Yeah, my right leg still not used to it.
All right. So now let's try that world's greatest stretch again. Let's see if
Okay,
it's better,
left side?
same, or worse. Yep.
It's the same.
Okay. Turn those hips just a bit. Good. Still getting a good stretch into that left glute.
Actually, I don't know.
I don't feel it much. in
All
my
right,
left
good. So
glute.
we've opened up the left glute a lot, which is great.
Yeah.
Excellent. So now we can go in and start to target into that left area right in the sacrum. Let's see what we find.
Okay.
All right, so let's do a little table work. Let's start face up. So I'm going to do a little bit more of a hands-on portion now. So face up, feet down toward this end here, and I just want to feel the tension in the body. Let's see. So internal rotation on both sides are pretty good. Maybe a little bound on the left compared to the right, but we already knew that from that glute being restrictive. Feet are pretty even there. And let's check big toe movement. Ooh, grabby on this side, which is to be expected on that left. Tender here at this point?
A little bit.
Yeah, so just in between the first and second ray, if they can't move very well back and forth and they're stuck together, then you tend to get more of a plantar fascia issue right in here, a little tender on that spot. Yeah, And then this side, feel how this one really moves well. So that's a great sign there. And it's your right side, the sacrum, that's getting you a bit. Okay. All right. And let's check out a couple other spots. Let's see if this subtalar moves. Not too bad there. Not bad, not bad. So still finding the left side, knowing that we got to get that big toe a little more open from the second one, so you have more freedom there. Right there, a little tender. So I always think of muscles like sponges. You eat steak? All right, cool. We can talk about steak then. So you got pieces of beef jerky or filet mignon. Right here, a little more beef jerky-like.
Oh, yeah.
And if you want to think of it like a sponge, you leave a sponge on the sink for 3 or 4 days, come back, dries, shrivels up, same idea. So what we want to do is massage the piece of beef jerky so it can start to be more filet mignon-like. Or same with the sponge, you squeeze it and run it under water to be able to get that absorption back, and then it has the pliability, not necessarily stretching. But this big toe and this part of the muscle that I'm pushing on play a crucial role together. So this muscle comes down into this inside here, and it can pull that big toe up, which makes it difficult for the big toe to stay down on the ground, which is why getting into this area and freeing it up is really going to allow that big toe to stay down. It's going to open up that left glute, allow you to get into the left glute, which will take off pressure on that right side of the sacrum. So it all kind of goes hand in hand with things.
Yeah.
And that's why we saw a small bit of improvement, because the left side is opened up more, which now gives it more space for the sacrum to rotate and not jam as much on that right side. So it's a process, but fun there. We found a good little spot. All right. And that's the fibular head muscles. So what we're looking at here is when these muscles are jammed up, it's hard for your shin bone to rotate in. Now, same thing, shin bone rotating in, first ray going down, something that your bigger toe has a difficulty doing, and then the glute is stuck as well. Now, I don't know which came first. It's kind of the chicken or the egg type thing. Whether the glute got stuck first, then this got stuck, and this got stuck, or it started from the bottom or the middle and worked its way out, who knows. This is just where we are now. So a few things that you can do to release this. One, doing some manual therapy like this. Another is taking a lacrosse ball, putting it on that area, and then just putting pressure on that and being able to massage the area. I'll show you that in a few, because that'll be crucial for that left fibular head. And let's see what these adductors are doing. A little tender? And we'll compare that to the right side. Do you know the, the kettlebell release on the inside of the thigh with that? You're gonna have a lot of fun homework exercises. Ooh, and this is stuck too. Tender there?
Yeah.
Yeah. So your IT band and your quad muscle are a little stuck together. So I don't really believe in there being short IT bands. It's more the IT band itself is stuck to a particular muscle, whether it's the lateral quad or the lateral hamstring. And then the two are unable to just slide and glide by one another. So instead of trying to roll out or really lengthen the IT band, what we're going to want to do is get in between the IT band and the quad and create separation. And so you just push in there a bit, and you can feel how I'm just taking my thumbs back and forth. The same thing could be done with the lacrosse ball. You put it right into that area, and then you just let it melt in between the two, and then you can even start to shift back and forth to create that separation. And you start low near the knee, and then you can slowly begin to work your way up into that area and just try to peel that quad away.
Wow.
Yeah. Fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so a lot of your, I'd say, the symptom that you're getting on that back right is really much more of a cause of this left side. And if the left side will start playing the game a bit better for the loading, it's going to take off that tension. Just shifting that up there. All I'm doing is just taking my thumb in between and pushing the quad up and away from that IT band. So great technique to be able to unstick the two. Now this is our version of massage. It is not relaxing. She's gonna start sweating. I might have to give her a shot of tequila or whiskey and have her bite down on a wooden spoon, but you know what? We're gonna get there and it's gonna feel tenfold better after we get out. And that's the goal of doing body work and manual therapy versus traditional Swedish massage. Good. That's it. Last little bit, and I'll just continue to work my thumbs all the way up. You can feel that IT band. I just find it right there, find the quad, and I just draw the quad away from it. Then eventually we'll get up to this TFL region here, and that's where the muscle starts to kick into the IT band. But that's not too bound. It's more just stuck here into this region. But even just looking at you there, your hips relaxed into a much more neutral position, which was great. Before it was like pinched here, so that looks a lot better already. Now that I've let you relax for a second, how does it feel?
Feels
as
much
you're
better.
staying there? Good.
Much better.
Good, let's see. All right, let me check this side. I'm just gonna push on to some of these pieces of beef jerky. A little there. So you got a few spots. Ooh, fun one right there. Yeah. Let's check this fibular head on this side. Tender, but I wouldn't say it's the same as that left at all. Much more tender on that left side. Dried out there. And let's check this adductor. Good. Yeah. So big difference between those two. The left adductor, left perineal, just how bound those muscles are and how much blood flow, water, nutrients that they're not getting. And that's vital. This side is getting it, and so moving much better. But she's having symptoms on this right side. And so if we're only addressing this right side, we're really missing a lot of the root causes of this particular injury. Or we won't call it an injury. This little nuisance we got in the low back. What's up, brother? How you doing, man? Good to see you. Good with the IT band. Yeah, no real issues there. Not nearly the same as that left side. Yeah, so don't need to spend much time on that. There, though, into that TFL and kind of hip flexor. Let's check the hip flexor, too. Yeah, a little there, a little tender, but not terrible.
Yeah. Oh.
It's moving, feeling a little
Like
more
right at the
there.
top, yeah.
Yeah, as I'm starting to peel that away, I can feel that just a bit more. Good. So I'm taking you might have heard a lot, the psoas muscle always gets a huge, gets a lot of attention on the internet. And although, there it is, felt that little release.
Yeah.
Although it does play a big role, known as the iliopsoas or the iliacus, is the muscle on the inside of this hip that often gets stuck to the psoas. So it's less about lengthening muscles and more about unsticking muscles from other muscles. Because the more you can do that, the more they can glide and slide by one another and have the full range of motion that they need. So a lot of my work now, which back in the day wasn't exactly the same. We used to push on muscles, try to push through them, really painful stuff. Now we're finding, let's work in between these muscles and allow them to have that separation, get that lubrication going into the area, then we move it, reinforce it. And we're seeing much better results and a less painful way of getting there, even though it still doesn't feel great. It's no Swedish massage.
What causes them to stick together?
What's that?
What causes them to stick together?
Number of things. So it can be the way we're exercising, the way we aren't exercising. It can be injuries that we've had in the past. It can be the way we stand, the way we walk. It can be stressors that we have in our life. It can be lotions, deodorants, pharmaceuticals, anything that doesn't react in a positive way with our body can create junk, inflammation, stickiness. And so it can cause that area to be able to get stuck or not receive the nutrients, the vitamins, the water that it should be getting because the pathway maybe is a little clogged, and then the inflammation and toxins can't leave. And so it begins to just get gunked up into that area. So doing manual therapy like this is a great way to be able to open up those clogged pipeways. But the important part is then to address the root cause, I'd say from a structural standpoint of the movement. So like we want to move well after this, so that way it doesn't come back. Because if we just did all this work and then didn't change any of your movements up, or focus on certain attention, it would just go right back. And then you could even get into the biochemistry part of saying, all right, well, let's dive into foods that you're eating, supplements that you're taking, pharmaceuticals that you're taking, and let's address and make sure that your chemistry inside is balanced the way that we need it to be. Let's make sure it's not too acidic. Let's make sure cortisol levels aren't too high. Then you can get into hormones, blood testing, all sorts. I mean, it can go deep into anything, but that's primarily what we'll look at. And then stressors. Stress isn't bad, but if we can't balance it back out and we don't do things to handle the stress that we have in our daily life, then that can also create tremendous amounts of blockage as the neurological system runs through the entire body. And there's certain pathways that become more stressed. The more stress that they get, the more space they take up in the body. The more space they take up in the body, the more likely it is to get clogged. And so I always say the issues lie in the tissues when we're talking about our mental, emotional issues. And we all have them. Even though some seem much greater than others, whatever we're dealing with is equally as important or stressful. Good. Deep breath in again. You're doing a great job there, breathing. Last little bit on this. Good. Yeah, so let me push through it and slide it away. Yeah, all right, it didn't roll. Very good. All right, so let's give it a second. Couple easy breaths. I want you to take your time. We'll slowly get you up, have you walk for a second. We'll try that same exercise or that same move, and then we can take a little bit look into the back. How are things feeling overall right now?
I feel very different.
Good different, bad different, or
Yeah,
unsure?
good.
All right.
I mean, I'm not unsure, because that stuff doesn't hurt me unless I'm doing that movement. So I don't know if it'll hurt me, but
Yeah. Definitely
I
seeing
feel good, like more flexible.
Good. Definitely seeing big changes in the body, which is great. Because that's one of those, if you feel unbalanced, that's perfect, because where we were was not the balance where we wanted to see and become. So I'm definitely seeing you start to come into a more balanced body, which is great. So now let's try that stretch again, the mobilization. And let's see if this is better, same, or worse.
It's better.
Very good.
I felt it a tiny bit when I moved, like through one of them, right here, like right there.
There.
I could feel it. But other than that, I can't feel it when I'm like right here anymore.
Okay, very good. So it's just that last little bit right there.
Yeah.
All right, so let's look into the back now. We'll take the last bit of the session. All right, let you get comfortable however you like there. Good? All right, so let's check out this low back. So I always like to wait. Ooh, right there.
Oh, yeah.
That wasn't hard to find. Right above that SI joint, through those erectors, are just grabbing. And so the thing is, I didn't want to release this first. If we go right toward the symptom first versus hitting all the areas away from the body and getting to the center, if I release that, then the body's going to go, this was our last thing that we were holding on to. You've completely messed me up now. And sometimes I've seen this lock up even more. And it may not be right away. It feels great right away. Later today, next couple of days, it can make things worse. So now that everything is now ready to get to this one spot that's holding on, we can do a little release here, and we'll see what happens. So I'm going to go right above the SI joint, which is right where those little dimples are. Right there. So here, just going to roll this up just a little bit.
Okay.
Then you're right if I do the same to your pants here as well.
Yeah.
All right, just slightly down here. All right, and what you can see the big difference right here in the buildup of this right side, the hypertrophy of this right erector compared to the left, which is letting us know that your right side here is doing a lot more than that left side.
Yeah.
Which likely is due to the left glute, left leg isn't able to be as strong, and so the right contralateral side has to pick that up. So when we walk, when we run, left leg, right arm work together. So if that's not working, this is going to have to do more, which will create more tension along here as well.
Makes sense.
So now that the left side is starting to wake up, I'd be curious to see if you get a lot more strength out of that left side and don't have to be so upper body and low back dominant on this right side, which should also ease some of that tension into that sacrum on the right. So I'm just going to slide down this right side here. Just pretending that these muscles here are dried sponges. We're just beginning to massage them a bit to bring some blood flow, water, vitamins, nutrients in there, and any inflammation or toxins that are left. Just asking that to politely please leave the body, or at least these muscles. Good, last little bit. Track it with the thumbs just a bit. You doing okay there?
Mm-hmm.
Good. Let me check this QL as well. Tender there?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. What about on this side? Nothing. All right. So we'll get that QL, and then I'll stop torturing you for the day. Okay. So last little bit. I'm going to do this from the other side here. What I want to think about here is just allowing the tissue to melt. Just my elbow sinks into the tissue. I'm not trying to push too hard, just keeping that pressure there. And I just want you to take some good deep breaths and allow everything to relax as much as possible. And we'll see if we can get that tissue to ease up a bit. And it's trying. There we go. There it is. You felt it move just a bit there?
Mm-hmm.
So that's not me moving it. I'm just keeping the same pressure. As your muscle eases up and it's not trying to fight and guard as much, it's going to allow that little shift to happen. Hi, Miss McKenzie. Therapy dog's coming to give you love.
Oh.
Good girl. Good. All right, so from here now, I'll start to move the sacrum just a bit as I continue keeping pressure onto that erector there. Good, just little shifts back and forth. And I'll ease up off that slightly. Better.
Wow, that's so tender.
All right. And then, yeah, even the erector up here, much more bound than this side. Feel how this one's got more pliability to it, but this side here, not as happy. All right, let's see if we can do a little release through there as well. So this one, I'm just going to slide down the back of it. Just shifting. Give it just a second. I'm going to grab a towel and some lotion. We'll slide down that left side. So with this, I just want you to take some good deep breaths as I slide through this. It's going to help me be able to move. Good. And I'm just starting toward the spine, working away into that deep QL muscle. Very good.
That was so sweet.
Good, excellent, excellent. All right. Give that a little love before we go in there one more time. And already it freed up a bit there, which is great. Yeah, you got healthy tissues. It just needs a little love and know what to do.
Yeah.
All right, you ready? One more time. Just good deep breaths again. Good. That's it. Good. Let it go. Excellent. Last deep breath here. Good. Let it go. Great work. Great work. Good. I'm going to give it just a little bit of movement. You got her? Good. Excellent. All right, let's take a second. Few easy breaths. I want you to take your time getting up.
I feel so much better.
Much better?
Yeah.
Very good. Very good. So that was about an hour, maybe just over. Yes, getting into both sides, much more balance there, which looks great. And let's check just last time anyways for that,
Okay.
that reach, because I know that was our baseline here.
I feel so much better.
Very good. Very good. And that's what the sessions at Indie Wellness look like here. You're dealing with the same stuff, come see us. Great work.
Thank you.